Hey, so let me explain the architecture, the full architecture of the entire application. The architecture, this is like the collaborative editing system, and it uses an agent-based architecture where independent agents communicate through a central message broker. First, the client browser, which is the JavaScript application, uh, it would run in the browser. It would make an HTTP request for the CRUD operation, and it can make the WebSocket connection for real-time updates, or we can serve the static UI files from the on the user agent, so we can make a request from there too. So now the request would we would send that to the backend, which is the fast API, and which is the application. It would receive the request, it would validate the request. It can be any sort of request, but we have to validate that request, and we would authenticate the user there, that the user is authenticated or not. And then for that we would be using the JWT token and converts required into the agent message. The fast application can create agent messages, and we can send those messages to the broker. Now let's suppose this is the agent message, which is like, what is the message, which can be any message like login, sign up. This one is for document creation, and the sender is API agent, gateway, and the recipient is document agent, which is one of the agent there. And there would be the payload like the user and all of that, those things, and we would have the correlation ID with that. Now this is the central part, which is known by each and every component. Like, no one else is knowing anything else except the broker. Like, the broker is the main person who can do the communication, which is the heart of the system, we can call that. And it routes messages to the correct agent and handles request response correlation. This is the registry. We would register the agent here. So there are three agents currently, which are the user agent, the document agent, and the version agent. And we would use the routing for each of the agent there, and we would have the request response correlation there, that the message is pending, what is the status of that message, and we can set the like the status of the message in there. And we can communicate, like, the broker is responsible for the communication of the inter agent communication. So like, one agent can talk with other agent, like can make the request or some other things, but the broker is responsible for that. These are main agents. These are different handlers. Like, the user agent can do the user registration, it can do the login, logout, and all of those things. The document agent can create the document, can read the document, can update the document, and these two can communicate with each other. So all of that communication can be done there. And we each of the agent follow the singleton responsibility principle. So the user agent handles the authentication and all of those things, and other agents do their own related stuff there. The message broker is central communication hub. It implements the mediator pattern. Agents don't know each other about each other. They only communicate through the broker. So the broker has four responsibilities main. One, it maintains an agent registry, a directory mapping agent's ID to agent instances. Two, it handles the routing when a message arrives. So this is the registry, this is the routing for that. It look up for the recipient and forwards the message. Three, it manages the request response correlation. So it tracks the pending request using correlation ID, so the response can be matched to their original request. And it enables, like, this is the fourth one, it enables the inter agent communication. For example, when a document agent creates a document, so it sends the request to the version agent to create the initial version for that document. So all communication uses a centralized agent structure. That's how it works. And for the DB also, the UI or the fast API won't request directly to DB, or some agent won't request directly to DB. Rather, we would use for the communication only central hub, which is the message broker for that. So the structure ensures all of the agents speaks the same language. The correlation ID is crucial. It allows us to match asynchronous response back to their original request. So we can track all of the request response, that what was requested by which thing. So that is the central part. Now let's track a full message flow. For an example, so let's say we are creating a document. So this is the like from the front end, a user clicks the create document button, and then we would have the request and the routes, which is one of the route of the API document, that and we give the title to that document as my document. Now that would come to the API gateway, and we would that would get to the agent message. So the message is that we want, what is the type of that message that we want to create the document. The sender is API gateway, that is the sender, and the recipient is the document editing agent. So that is inside the agent functionality. And for the payload, we would have the title, the user ID, and all of other things if the user is login, so JWT token and other stuff if there is any. Then comes the message to the message broker. So now the message broker is the like that is the main router that the front end, or we can say the fast API, and it would communicate with the agent. So message broker would receive the message, and that it would route the message to the correct agent, that which is the document editing agent, and that is the document agent actually. And there are we are editing the document, so it would receive the message, and we would register that message. And now the document agent would do the work for the handle messages. So it do have the handler of the document creation. So it would create the document in the database, and it would send a message or a request to the version agent to create a version 1. So now the version 1 would be created here in the version agent, which would again be handled by the message broker, and it would create that version, that it would save that version in the database, and it would return the confirmation to this. And then this agent, which was the document agent, it would confirm the message returns back to the broker message, that is the API gateway. So the pending status would change for that, and the client would receive that the document is being created. So this is the whole architecture of the application, that how it works, what request to which thing, and how the whole system is working.